My name is Linh. I am from Vietnam. My life once felt complete. I was young, happy, and in love. I had a man who cared for me. His name was Ka. He was my first love, and I thought he would be my last. We laughed together every day, made plans for our future, and spoke about marriage and children. I trusted him with all my heart. But life did not go as I hoped. One cold night, Ka had an accident. He did not survive. I still remember the sound of that phone call. My hands shook when I held the phone. I cried for days and nights. It felt like my world had ended. My family tried to comfort me, but nothing could bring him back. I thought I could never love again. Time passed. A year later, my friends encouraged me to move abroad, to study or work. They said it might help me heal. I did not want to leave, but my heart was too heavy in Vietnam. Every street reminded me of Ka. Every corner was full of memories. So I made a choice. I decided to go to Belgium. It was far from home, and leaving was not easy. I said goodbye to my parents and younger sister. At the airport, my mother hugged me and whispered, "Be strong, my daughter." I smiled, though my eyes were wet. I carried a suitcase full of clothes, books, and memories. When I stepped onto the plane, I felt both afraid and hopeful. I did not know what awaited me. Life in Belgium was very different. The weather was cold, the streets were quiet, and people spoke a language I did not know. At first, I felt lonely. I missed my family, my food, and my language. I worked hard to adjust, attending language classes and finding a small job in a shop. Days were long, but I kept busy. At night, I still cried for Kai. I missed his voice, his touch, his smile. I wondered if I could ever love again. One morning, my boss asked me to join a new project on software training. That was when I met Mark. He was from Belgium, tall, with kind eyes. He was patient with me when I spoke slowly, saying, "Do not worry, you will learn." His smile was warm, and his words were gentle. I felt safe when he spoke to me. At first, Mark was only a colleague. He helped me with work, explained rules, and showed me how to use new programs. He sometimes offered me coffee during breaks. I thanked him, but kept my distance, afraid to open my heart. I still carried Ka inside me, thinking it was wrong to care for another man. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Mark started sharing more, stories about his family, his dreams of traveling to Asia. I listened quietly, enjoying his words. Slowly, I felt lighter. Walking home after work, I sometimes smiled without reason. My heart was not as heavy as before. One evening, Mark asked, "Do you want to join me for dinner?" I felt nervous and initially declined, but later agreed. We went to a small restaurant near the city center. The lights were soft, the food warm. We spoke about music, books, and our childhoods. I laughed for the first time in a long while. Mark looked at me and said, "Your smile is beautiful." I felt shy, my heart beating faster. That night, I lay in bed and whispered Ka's name. Guilt filled my chest. Was it wrong to smile with another man? To dine with him? I loved Ka, but he was gone. I could not bring him back. I closed my eyes and cried softly. In the following weeks, Mark and I met more often. We walked in parks, shared coffee on cold mornings, and explored the city together. He told me about Belgium's history, and I told him about Vietnam, the rivers, rice fields, and food. He laughed when I described the smell of fish sauce. One day he said he would try it, and we both laughed. Yet inside me, a war raged. Part of me wanted to open my heart again. Another part said no. Could love truly happen twice? Could a broken heart heal? One winter day, snow covered the streets. Mark gave me his gloves. "You need these more than me," he said. My heart shook. I whispered, "Thank you." That night, I could not sleep. I thought of Mark, his warmth, his care, and of Ka, his smile, his love. I felt caught between two worlds, the past and the present. I began noticing more about Mark, his kindness, his strength, and how he cared for others, but guilt lingered. I spoke to my friend Mai in France. She said, "Lynn, Ka is gone. You cannot live in the past forever. It is not betrayal to love again. It is life." Her words gave me courage. Mark asked me again to spend time together. I agreed without fear. We shared meals, books, and music. I began feeling something new, not the same as with Ka, but warm, real, and present. My heart felt alive. Still, I wondered, was this love or just comfort? Mark shared his past too. He had been in a long relationship that ended badly, leaving him broken. I understood his pain. We were both trying to heal, learning to open our hearts again. One weekend, he took me to his mother's house in a small town outside the city. The house was simple but warm. His mother welcomed me with tea and cake, asking about my country and life. Her kindness touched me. When we left, Mark held my hand for the first time. My heart raced. I wanted to pull away, but I did not. That night, I cried in my room, guilt and hope mixed in my tears. Months passed. Mark wanted more from me. He wanted me to stay in Belgium forever and consider a future together. I was unsure. My heart still clung to the past, and I missed my family. One evening, we sat in a cafe. He asked, "Will you stay with me?" I hesitated. "I care for you, but my heart is not free. My family is far. I feel lost." His face grew sad. "I understand, but it is hard. I want you in my life." His words weighed heavily on me. Then came my sister's wedding. I wanted to go home to Vietnam, but leaving Belgium, even briefly, felt like risking everything with Mark. I told him, and he grew distant. His worry was silent, but present. I went to Vietnam. My family greeted me warmly. The wedding brought laughter, love, and joy. Yet every night I thought of Mark, wondering if he missed me. Ka's memory lingered too. I realized love could exist in more than one time, but it was never the same. I decided to return to Belgium. Mark was at the airport, tired yet hopeful. "You came back?" he asked. "Yes," I said softly. "I want to try." Life improved for a while. We laughed, traveled, and shared moments. But questions returned. Mark wanted promises, clarity, and a future I could not fully give. "I love you," he said one evening. "I need to know if you feel the same." I whispered, "I love you, but my love is not the same as Ka's. I cannot give all of me." He grew pale, silent. "I am not enough for you. You still live with your past." My heart broke. Weeks later, I lived alone, working, studying, speaking to my family. I thought of Mark often, his care, his laugh, his love. I missed him, but he wanted more than I could offer. One evening, I wrote in my diary, "I have loved twice. First Ka, love ended with death. Second Mark, love ended with distance and difference. Both loves were real, both taught me, both made me strong. I have tried. I have opened my heart again. Love can happen twice. It may not last forever, but it heals. It teaches. I am not the same girl who left Vietnam. I am stronger. I have loved, I have lost, and I have lived. That is enough."